Africa of the figures that you saw in the photograph that Dr. Michael Chege just showed us. Bildad Kagea, Aguin Kodek, Acheng Oneko, Pio Gama Pinto, Paul Ngei. Later on we would add J.M. Kariuki, Taita Towet. We grew up in the powerful shadow of these nationalists. I, of course, didn't know Jaramogi then. I didn't know him in Kenya. But I was very fortunate I would get to know him in New York as his resident assistant. Jaramogi in the early 80s who traveled to New York because he had an NGO registered with the United Nations, and also come to New York to organize to travel to neighboring countries. And I was therefore his resident assistant in New York, and very fortunate to spend a long number of hours with him. I just want to say this. First, Jaramogi could have become a historic president of Kenya. He did not. But he became somebody more important, with an impact more durable, because he led by example. Because he led and lived by his conviction. Jaramogi therefore left a powerful legacy for all of us. The second thing I want to say is that I was struck by the virtues, by the attributes that were so self-evident in Jaramogi. His faithfulness to the people, his courage, his sense of duty, his tenacity in the struggle, and very rare, his self-denial, denying himself in order to serve the greater good of the community. Jaramogi was also, in spite of his suffering for many years, always committed to reconciliation. These are attributes which in my view were not accidental. The Luo elders have attributes which are expected of them, as Jodito Pacho. And these attributes of Jaramogi come straight from that tradition. May God bless him for all that. Thirdly, I was struck that Jaramogi, among the African leaders, was a deeply rooted leader. Rooted in his own culture, in his tradition, in the history of his people. That is what gave Jaramogi the confidence to be so open and so cosmopolitan, and to accept other cultures and tradition and not be threatened by any of that. He made friends all over. You cannot be a great leader in Africa if you are floating in thin air. You have no roots. It's like Okot Bitek's song of Lawino, without that being the authentic voice of his mother, written in the idiom and rhythm and meaning of his own people, it would not have made the impact it did. So in the political arena, Jaramogi was the equivalent. His rootedness made him a more authentic nationalist in Kenya. He made him a more powerful, convincing Pan-Africanist. How I wish that more of our leaders today would have those virtues. Then let me say this. Before Jaramogi, Bobby Marley said and sang, "We cannot sing the Lord's song in a strange land. We cannot sing the Lord's song in the land of not yet Uhuru." Jaramogi particularly provided this dirge, this soul searching, this credo cur, because of the wholesale plunder that some of our leaders are doing to our country. Not corruption. Corruption is a polite word. Wholesale plunder that is taking place. Jaramogi spoke of not yet Uhuru because he was opposed to some of the African leaders manipulating our ethnic diversity and richness to divide our people. Jaramogi never accepted this. Jaramogi said not yet Uhuru because he wanted power to be with our people, to elect those that should govern them, and not the string of rigged elections. And Jaramogi said not yet Uhuru because he believed in an egalitarian society, a society in which a child from the remotest village in Kenya can become Professor Nyang' Nyong'o. A child from the rural areas and the slum can tomorrow become Dr. Oburu. He believed with all his heart in that, in providing equality of opportunities. So, if we are today celebrating the life and contribution of Jaramogi, are we prepared to be worthy heirs of Jaramogi? Are we, especially address this to the leaders and the intelligentsia, Joma wangu yabe, are you prepared to be worthy heirs of Jaramogi's legacy? To fight the fight that he left midway. It is the unfinished business of not yet Uhuru. Are we prepared to accomplish that struggle? That is the meaning of today's gathering. And if we leave here determined to accomplish the unfinished business that Jaramogi started, then I'll say, what Mogi, what Kikuch, Oterawa, Yue Kikuch, La Wirwuri, We Kikuch, La Wimon, Pien, Wabichobo, what Mamegi, Wabichobo, Luen, my child. So, Jaramogi, rest in peace. This mission will be accomplished. Rest in peace. Apoyo, erokamano.
Aya. Next time you come, Olara, they will be speaking Acholi. Apoyo, erokamano. Asante. Thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity just to introduce the governors who are here and to ask Governor Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir to say a word or two on their behalf. We have today with us, apart from the First Lady, who is not a governor, my wife, you are in that category. Thank you very much. Just stand up so that they know that I'm not Bolingo. Thank you. Asante. Governor James Orengo of Siaya. Jim. Thank you very much, Jim. Governor Gladys Wanga of Homa Bay, the indomitable lady. Thank you very much. Governor Ochilo Ayako Nyakwar of Migori. Thank you very much. Governor Simba Arati from Kisii. Wapi Simba? Ako hapa? Okay. Governor Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir, I've introduced you. You will come over. Then we have Governor Gideon Mungaro. Gideon, yuko wapi? He's not here. Then Governor Wilberforce Chichilo, was he here? Finally, is Ferdinand Baraza here? Any other governor I've not mentioned? Now, I'm sure when Moses Kuria came, you didn't see him. Mheshimiwa Waziri Moses Kuria, a good friend of mine, head of public service. Kifanya nyoko watamuona basi. Then I just introduced 3 deputy governors. My deputy governor, Governor Willie. Thank you very much, Matthew. Deputy Governor Joseph Magwanga from Homa Bay. Thank you very much. And Deputy Governor Dr. Joseph Mahiri. Now I'll ask Elisha Oraro, the Deputy Speaker of Kisumu Assembly. The people in Kisumu Assembly here, Nereo Kombo, Deputy Speaker, Honorable Ken Oko, please. Majority Leader, Honorable Mumbo Wade, Deputy Majority Leader, and Honorable Adunyang, Chief Whip. Asante Adui, and finally, Madam Jennifer Ubonyo, Deputy Chief Whip. Yeah. Now, finally, can I ask, let me just give a chance to Governor, because he's in a hurry, want to catch a plane. Then I'll ask Wandai. Pardon? Pardon? Okay, let me ask Wandai, just a minute. Where's Wandai? Come and introduce the MPs, sorry.
Let me, on behalf of my colleague members of National Assembly, join the family of Jaramogi in celebrating 30 years since his demise. But let me also say this before I introduce my colleagues, that some of us who are too young to have interacted with Jaramogi closely have had the rare opportunity and chance to be mentored by Baba Raila Odinga. And since we have been mentored properly by Baba, by extension we have been mentored by Jaramogi. And secondly, let us use this occasion to take stock of the gains we have been able to make in the reform journey, and possibly the losses we might have incurred along the way as we march forward. And let me also commit finally on behalf of my colleagues that we are going to remain true to the course and to walk the journey. Koro yenauru Monda introduce wabunge mankind. Let me just ask you to stand up. As I mention your name, you sit down. But let me start with the national chairman of ODM, the Honorable John Mbadi, who is also nominated MP. We have in our midst, of course, the county leader or MP for Kisumu County, Ruth Odinga. The Honorable Anthony Oluoch of Mathare. The Honorable Bensouda of Homa Bay. The Honorable Adipo Kwome of Karachuonyo. The Honorable Martin, Ward Chief of Niwa. The Honorable Daktari Eva Buyu of Kabondo, Eva Obara of Kabondo Kasipul. The Honorable Orero Mwalimu of Kibera. The Honorable Dr. Lilian Gogo of Rangwe. The Honorable TJ Kajuang of Ruaraka. The Honorable Dr. Christine Ombaka of Siaya. The Honorable Tomo Dege of Nyatike. The Honorable now Rosa Buyu of Kisumu. The Honorable Peter Masara of Suna West. The Honorable Sir Charles Ongondo Were of Kasipol. The Honorable, the indomitable lady Mishi Mboko of Likoni. The Honorable Zamzam of Mombasa. The Honorable Fulangege Badi Twalib of Jomvu, Mombasa. The Honorable Dr. James Nyikal of Seme, who is also the chairman of Duol. the Honorable Okukaunya of Teso North, the Honorable Aduma Owur of Nyakach. I have also been asked to introduce the Deputy Leader of Minority, the Honorable Joshua Daktari Joshua Odongo Oron, our host and the MP for Kisumu Central. Of course, Oron must be introduced in a special way. I'm also been asked to introduce the Deputy Leader of Minority of the Senate, who is also the Senator for Kitui. He is here representing His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka. The Honorable Enoch Wambua. I don't know if you would come forward quickly as we conclude and introduce. Yes. Of course, Wambua will introduce the senators, including the SG of the party. I also want to acknowledge the presence of all other guests who have come here, including delegations, particularly delegation from Busia County. I saw them here. Haya, karibu Senator Enoch Wambua. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother, my friend, Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, and the family of our father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, for hosting us today. Mine will be very brief. Excellency, I come all the way from Ukambani to bring greetings from the people of the lower eastern region. Umepokea salamu zao? I am here, Excellency, to also represent the Wiper Party leader, His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, who was unable to join us today because he has been invited to the DRC to witness the swearing in of their president. And I know he is there with our president, President Muigai Kenyatta. What I know for a fact, His Excellency, and I know my brother Moses is here, I know for a fact that the government of William Samoei Ruto was not invited in that swearing in ceremony because they have messed up protocol with our region. Excellency, I will say one thing and I sit down. Sio ni ukweli? Si tumeambiwa mzee yote alikuwa anasema ukweli? Na sisi tuseme tu ukweli pia? Kabisa. So, I have a lot of respect for three people, three leaders in this country. The first person that I truly respect, and that is why I am here on a Saturday, ni huyu mzee Jaramogi Ajuma Oginga Odinga. Because when he had an opportunity to form government and become president of the Republic of Kenya, he passed that opportunity and said, we can never do it for as long as Johnston Jomo Kenyatta is in distinction. Lazima atolewe kwanza, akuje atuongoze. The second person that I have a lot of respect for is our leader in Azimio, Raila Amolo Odinga. Because in the year 2002, vile aliangalia akaona viongozi, they cannot agree on who will form the government of the Republic of Kenya, he turned and said, Emilio Stanley Mwai Kibaki. And with those words, this man liberated us from the many, many years of dark rule of Kanu. The other man I have a lot of respect for, and that's the man for whom I'm here to bring his things to you, is one Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, who in the year 2013, he shelved his presidential ambitions and stood firmly behind Raila Amolo Odinga. In 2017, he shelved his ambition and stood firmly behind Raila Amolo Odinga. In 2022, he shelved his ambitions and stood firmly behind Raila Amolo Odinga. Those are the three men in this country that I adore and I respect. And I want to say today, without fear of contradiction, that the salvation of this country in terms of political leadership lies in the hands of Raila Amolo Odinga and Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. The best I want to introduce the senators that are here and perhaps ask the SG of ODM, the biggest political party in this part of the region, not just in Kenya, East and Central Africa, just come and say a word as we introduce the rest of the senators who are here. Senator Safadhali, Musimame, we introduce you. And I know kuna senator mmoja hajafika hapa leo, na sijui ameenda wapi, na tuko hapa kwao nyumbani. Mmemwona mahali? Ako wapi? Sasa mimi nimetembea natafuta all senators simuoni. Baba, there is one thing we have to do in Azimio. Those leaders that were elected on tickets Azimio na wametoroka chama, political parties now must test every article of the constitution and every section of the law. We must withdraw our sponsorship from those leaders to watupe nje, we go for fresh elections. Hapa mnasema nini? Eji unasema nini? Hapo ni sawa. Asante sana. I will give the honor of introducing the rest of my colleagues to my brother, my friend, Senator of Nairobi, Edwin Sifuna. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, Honorable Wambua. Your Excellencies, because of time, all protocols observed, I have a lot of respect for all of you. Allow me to introduce the senators in the House today. I'll start with our senior. We call him the youth leader in the Senate, Honorable Oburu Odinga, who is the senator for Siaya, youth leader. Thank you very much. Now, the Homa Bay na anafikanga mpaka huku yote. Your Excellency, allow me to introduce also the senator for Migori, my brother Eddie Mwokratego Gisheru. Alafu finally, my chairman of the Public Accounts Committee and the senator for Homa Bay, Honorable Senator Moses Kajwang. Asante sana, Your Excellency. I will say only one thing and sit down. To the family of Jaramogi Odinga, it has been the honor of my life to know this family, to become friends with this family, to walk the political journey with this family, to learn from people who learned directly from Jaramogi himself. Your Excellency, it is not many young people who get the opportunity that some of us have gotten in ODM. That I was mentored by Peter Anyang' Nyong'o, who's my predecessor as the Secretary General of the party. I have learned under the feet of James Agri Boborengo. I have learned under the feet of Baba Raila Odinga himself. I want to say that this family, God bless you as you continue to make the sacrifices that you've made for the liberation of our country and of our people. And as Jaramogi used to be, I honestly do not know any other politician who would be as selfless as he was, given that opportunity. Given that opportunity, even if it was me, I don't know if I would take the same decision that he took. If they called me today, Your Excellency, and said, Sifuna, you come and be the president, I don't think I will think of anybody else. I will just say, later your Bible, mini kule kiapo. So he was a very unique person. Your Excellency, with your permission, allow me to recognize members of the County Assembly, especially the ones that have come from Nairobi. Just please stand up. Hii ni watu wazuri. Led by our own majority leader there, Peter Emwatok. The chairman of budget, Honorable Odalo, is there. Mama County, Mama Catherine, I can see you. Honorable Perpetua Mbojiwa. Yes. Nani yao? Homa Bay. Yes. And of course our speaker. Speaker of the Nairobi County Assembly, Honorable Ken Ngondi. Thank you very much. The governor of Homa Bay has requested that also the members of the County Assembly from Homa Bay wasimame. Wawave. Haya. MCAs wa Mombasa, MCAs wote wasimame tu tafadhali. I might not know all of you, lakini mnajua tunawapenda. MCAs wa Kisumu, adui si walikuwa wamekuintroduce. Asante sana. Nani nimewacha? Nani nimewacha? Mombasa. Mombasa MCAs tafadhali wasimame. Haya, governor atafanya wa Mombasa. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. In the interest of time, I will hand over to the governor of Mombasa, His Excellency Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir. Ndugu yangu karibu.
Asante sana. Your Excellency, kila mmoja ameongea Kiingereza na Kijaluo. Mimi ningeongea Kijaluo, lakini dada yetu mkubwa hapa Magi anaweza kuona sijui naongea nini, kwa hivyo unipeni nafasi niongee Kiswahili tu. Kwanza, Your Excellency, nataka kutambua wale nilikuja na wao. Tuko na speaker wa Mombasa Harub Katri yuko hapa, nilikuja na CC wangu na Chief of Staff, lakini kando na hao tuko na County Assembly members ambao walikuja hapa as an assembly team. There are almost 20 of them here. Kwa hivyo hapa hii leo, Your Excellency, we have enough quorum for us to be able to make any decision. Ile utatupatia amri tutafanya hapa tu. Of course, I came with my leaders who come from our area, Honorable Badi, Mishi, and Honorable Zamzam. Your Excellency, yale nataka kuelezea yatakuwa ni mawili, na nina sababu kwa nini nitamalizia na hayo mawili. Kwanza, tuko hapa kuweza kusherekea maisha ya hayati Jaramogi, mzee ambaye kwamba alipopatiwa nafasi akaambiwa chukua mskani wa urais, alikataa, akasema hapawezi kuwa na uhuru katika Kenya ikiwa kuna wengine bado wako ndani, akiwemo ni Kenyatta. Walipochukua nchi akawa naibu wa rais. Kwa mtazamo wake ya kwa fikra za kisiasa na nchi inavyokwenda havilingani na yeye, akatoa uamuzi, mimi ni bora niweze kujiuzulu, lakini niweke heshima yangu na heshima ile ambayo kwamba nilichaguliwa nayo iwe juu. Hakuweza kusita kupeana nasaha na kupeana yale mazuri kwa wale walikuwa wanajulikana kama young turks, wala hakushika wale ambao kwamba ni Wajaluo peke yake. Akashika watu ambao kwamba ni chipukizi, wale walioko mbele yetu, Orengo, Profesa Martin Shikuku. Mombasa kulikuwa na Bamaharis na wengine wengi, Gitobu Imanyara, wengi kutoka sehemu tofauti ya hii Kenya. Sasa hizi sifa za uongozi ambazo kwa hii Kenya hii leo ni chache, mtu aliyeweza kuweka matakwa yake nyuma akaweka matakwa ya Kenya mbele, mtu aliyeweza kusema haya ambao kwamba tunayaona katika nchi nyingine akasema ya kwa mimi najiuzulu, sikubaliani, mtu ambaye hakuweza kuogopa kupeana nasaha na kupeana uongozi kwa vijana ambao kwamba walioko chipukizi, ni lazima maisha haya yaweze kusherekewa. Ndio nikasema, Your Excellency, nina mawili ambao nitaweza kuyataja hapa. Moja, sitaomba ruhusa ya familia. La pili, nitaomba ruhusa ya familia ya Jaramogi. La kwanza, Your Excellency, tupe nafasi tukitoka hapa. Tuna barabara katika Mombasa. Kama gavana wa Mombasa naelezea na natoa amri, kuna barabara katika kaunti ya Mombasa itakuwa na jina la Jaramogi Odinga, iwe katika kumbukumbu ya historia. La pili, Your Excellency, hili nitaomba ruhusa